Okay, perfect.
Rightio.
We're up and rolling.
Okay.
So,
Well, episode 20.
episode 20, welcome.
This is it. Welcome to Slice of Fried Gold. I'm Paddy. This is Ben, if you don't know. Make sure you give us a subscribe, like. It's a bit different this week. We are in the house. Well, my house.
Your house. Because we've already been in my house.
We've done your house before,
Yeah.
so we're now in my house. We thought as episode 20 we could do something a little bit different and be in the place. How you been? You all right?
Been all right. Not too bad. Work's just ticking over nicely, and when a colleague sort of annoys you, and you just want to snap back.
Yeah.
You just want to be like, well.
But you're just like, no, I'll be good.
Yeah. And instead you just go start texting everyone like, this has just annoyed me.
This happened.
Go. Tell me I'm right,
I literally woke up to that this morning. I was just like, oh, okay, right, I get it.
Well, it's not even that, but then the other one yesterday when I was being trained and there were certain things and they were using the terms end and further.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was thinking, well, end finishes, further means continues. And then it was only like 20, 30 minutes later, they're like, no, it's the same thing. And I was just like, what?
In what world is
end and further the same thing?
Yeah.
To the point that when I then messaged you and my brother and sister-in-law, like,
what am I doing?
And I was just like, well, sister-in-law, she studied English language at uni, so I was like, if anyone's going to understand my frustration with the lexicon here, she will.
Yeah. Somebody would appreciate that.
Someone will appreciate how that is. But yeah, no, other than that, I'm all good. How about yourself?
Yeah, not bad. I am ill.
Man flu.
I think it's worse than man flu. I think I'm honestly dying. I'm
Welcome to Paddy's obituary.
I woke up this morning and I was choking on like everything, like all the gunk, and it was not good. Not a good thing at all. But yeah, other than that, I had to quickly. I'm not back to work until Saturday, but I had to quickly pop into work today.
Oh yeah.
Just 10 minutes, just get a low down on a couple of bits. But other than that, I'm pretty chill. Yeah, pretty chill.
Can't complain.
Yeah, same old stuff with me.
Same old stuff. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, what makes this a little bit extra special, since it's episode 20, not only are we in someone's house,
but we've got a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about, because for some reason this week we've gone to 5 different films. Not all together, a bit separately.
Yeah, just a bit here and there.
So we've now got 5 films to this.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through. Excuse me.
Yes, terrible.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of coughing. I'll try and cover my microphone if I can.
Yeah. So since I went and saw the most films, shall I start?
Yeah, you start.
So the first film I went to see was called Rye Lane. It was a drama, comedy, bit of a rom-com. I don't think it classified itself as a rom-com though, but it was a bit of a rom-com.
Okay, right.
It was really good, really funny. What I really liked was because it was the main story, which is given away in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler.
Okay.
But the main guy, he's just been broken up with, and he's going to go meet his girlfriend to like talk it out.
Right. Okay.
And he meets a girl. Like he goes into a unisex bathroom right at the start, and he's crying in there, and this girl sort of like clocks his shoes, and then when they're outside, she sees the shoes again, and she goes, "Oh, that was the guy that's crying." And so they start chatting, and she's doing the whole "How are you?" blah blah blah. It all slowly comes out that he's just been broken up with, and then she's like, "Well, I've just been recently broken up with," and they start sharing stories and everything as they're walking to this meeting with his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
But what I really liked was when they were doing like the flashbacks of what happened, rather than him just talking as they're walking along, they actually went back into that scene and they were there, like in the Harry Potter films when you've got the pensive scenes where you've got the thing happening and then you've got Dumbledore and Harry like standing in the background watching
like a Christmas Carol.
Like a Christmas Carol, yeah.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
My mind goes straight to Harry Potter.
Yeah,
not everyone else's mind.
same difference, yeah. Same difference.
But yeah, so they're like standing in the background, and what I like is each scene is slightly different. So like one like takes place in a cinema, one takes place in a theater, and one takes place in somewhere else. And so they're all just each time they're at the theater or they're at the cinema. However, whilst I enjoyed that and I liked the sort of way of showing the story, in the cinema flashback, the girl had a tub of popcorn, but then when it went back to the real world, she still had the tub of popcorn. And I get that it was supposed to be a visual gag.
Oh, okay. Right, okay.
It took me out of the film because I was like, hang on a minute, where the fuck did she get that popcorn from?
Yeah, that is a bit bizarre.
Yeah, so it took me out, but I understood that it was a visual gag, but...
I guess, thinking about it, what would have been funnier is if she just kind of like, when they like come back to the real world, it could have been like something disappeared and she was like this and like, where's the popcorn or something?
Yeah, that could have worked. Or she's gone to put her hand in.
Yeah, she's gone like, where's that gone?
That would have been good. I could tell throughout the whole theory that colours played a big role, because the film had really bright colours and there was like proper moments where it just looked at colours. And I was just sitting there going, I know these colours are supposed to mean something. I'm not getting the message, but I know they're supposed to mean something.
Right, okay, yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe the director is on a higher echelon of knowledge and everything than I am.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. It's not hard.
Yeah. We don't do the colours, do we, baby? It's blue.
Oh, that reminds me of sixth form English literature.
Yeah.
Studying this poem, and the teacher wants us to proper like study it, and she's like, and this line of the blue curtains are swaying in the breeze. What do you think that line means? I was like, that the curtains are blue. She went, no. It's a line to explain the author's depression. And I was like, right. Or
it could be the curtains are blue.
The problem is it was like the second line in the poem. So my argument was it's setting the scene. If it was further into the poem, then yes, it could be a line for the author's depression. But it was the second line in the poem, so I was like, or it could just be explaining that the curtains were blue. Yeah. And me and her did not get on at all.
I know which one. I think I know what teacher you're talking about as well. So it's quite funny.
Ginger-haired smoker.
Yeah. White cookie.
Just say it out loud.
Well, we did, when we talked about teachers, we talked about all their names.
But yeah, so me and her clashed quite a bit because I was like, it's that Incredibles meme. Math is math.
Math is math. Math is math.
It doesn't change. The curtains were blue.
They're just blue.
They're just blue.
In the situation.
But yeah, it was a pretty good rom-com. At the end of the day, I was there on my own, and I'm also single, and it made me. It reminded me that I'm single, and I was just like, oh,
that's what you need. Yeah.
What you need is a sign of a good rom-com. If you're like, oh, at the end of it, all warm and fuzzy, like, oh, I'd like a relationship. Yeah. It's a good rom-com.
And I'm not getting one, so I'm gonna go slit my wrists.
Yeah. So that was Rye Lane.
Yeah.
Shall I move on to the next one? I shall.
Okay. Go for it. Just go for it. Rattle them off.
So the next one I went to see was Allelujah.
Yeah.
Real all-star cast. Absolute all-star cast. You've got Jennifer Saunders, Judi Dench, David Bradley, Derek Jacobi, Russell Tovey, new guy who played the Indian Doctor, and very good looking.
Yeah, is he? I feel like I've seen him in something else before, though.
But I think he did an interview about like how he felt like this was his first big break and working with such all-stars.
Okay.
He was like, it's been really daunting, but he kept up well with them.
That's good.
So yeah, it was really well written, really funny, like proper traditional Northern British, like wit, very snappy, very very Victoria Wood-esque. But then again, it was written by Alan Bennett, a very famous script writer, so I wouldn't have expected anything less from him.
Yeah.
But it was really witty, very quick fire. The characters were really good and really believable. The acting was superb. It had one of the best plot twists that I've seen in a while. Like, me and you can normally guess when a plot twist is coming.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a good plot twist.
This one took me off guard. And had you been sitting next to me, I would have been smacking you.
Wait, like this. Oh my god.
That would have been happening. Ow, that really just...
You twatted me. Ow.
So yeah, I was like, oh my goodness me, this is an amazing film. I can't wait to go home and tell Paddy about it.
Yeah. So.
And then they ruined it.
Okay.
They ruined it with, right at the end, a down the camera preachy monologue.
Like this.
Like this.
So we're like this, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Just who we want.
And I hate those kind of things, because a down the camera preachy monologue says one of two things to me. Either one, you think your audience is stupid, which is rude. give your audience more credit.
Yeah.
Or two, you don't think you've covered the message strong enough in your story, so now you need to go over it again just to nail it home, which means that your story is bad and your writing is bad.
Yeah.
So wasn't impressed on that front.
Lacking self-confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really ruined the film for me. And it's like, you don't need this. I got the message already. You don't have Shrek at the end of the Shrek films going, now everyone's beautiful in their own way. You don't have Dumbledore reappearing at the Harry Potter films going, killing other people will only make you more evil. It won't extend your life. You don't have, I don't know, the Joker at the end of a Batman film going, now what I did was wrong. You know, you don't need that.
Introducing anarchy is not good.
Yeah. It is about sending a message.
And the message is positivity.
Yeah. And it completely ruined the film for me. I was so ready to be like, this is one of my top 5 films of this year, and it's now, I don't want to know about it.
That's a shame.
The interesting thing, though, is because the play was written in 2018, whereas the down the camera preachy monologue right at the end, it talks about a very specific topic that happened in 2020.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, was that actually part of the original script? Because of course it was originally a play on stage. Was that part of the script, or has it been tacked on the end by some screenwriter, or even Alan Bennett himself maybe has added it? I don't know. All I know, didn't appreciate it.
Right.
Now, for all the people who are going to message going, but Ben, you studied drama at university. Didn't Shakespeare have like monologues at the end to cover the story? Yes.
Yeah.
But Shakespeare was writing for medieval peasants who were drunk, and the plays went on for 4 hours. I'm sorry, but after 4 hours, I need a fucking, Mate,
I need one after 20 minutes. Okay.
I need a previously on HBO. But yeah, it really ruined it for me.
Fair enough.
Which is a shame. Right, I feel like I've talked too much, so you go.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's a pity about that because it did look like a good movie, that one. But well, hopefully it will still do well enough that it will get the views that it needs. But we'll see. So I went to go see John Wick 4. John Wick 4. Oh, Keanu. I love the franchise.
You do.
I think it's a brilliant franchise. Number 4 is the longest out of all 4. It is a good film. It could have been a bit shorter. I don't think it needed to be nearly 3 hours long. I feel like you could have, like, every fight scene was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think every bit that they used in there was really clever. But I felt like, for example, if every fight scene, say, had like 50 people he killed, for example, you could have made it 40 and cut and just cut those little bits to like help save on time. It was a good film. The first one's still the best one, in my opinion. A
lot of people are saying this one's the best one.
Well, this is the thing. All the critics and everybody's saying it is the best one. However, I think what works in its favour is the cinematography and the direction. It is a beautiful film, and this bodes well because this director is looking to make a Ghost of Tsushima movie.
Ooh.
And like the first part of this movie is actually based in Japan.
Right. Yeah.
So there's like samurai, and there's like beautiful bits where there's like trees and like things like in Ghost of Tsushima. So I feel like this is kind of his like, I can definitely do it. Yeah. I can do it, and I'm all for it, and I'm looking forward to that. There was some really clever bits. There was like one of the best fight scenes, or action scenes, or fight sequences, or whatever you want to call it. Was like a bird's eye view. And like the camera followed like John Wick around all these rooms and things like that as he was fighting people. And it was really, really clever. It was really well thought through, and it was obviously like, we're more acute to like hidden cuts in one shot things, but it was filmed in like a one cut sequence. and it worked. You could tell where the hidden cuts were, like when it was going over beams and X, Y, and Z, but it worked, and it really, really was clever. I haven't seen many or any like fight scenes like that. It was quite reminiscent of like a video game that people have said it's like I think it's called like Miami something. But it was a really good film. I think it's a very good cap to the end of the John Wick saga. There's
Until they decide to carry on milking the cow dry.
Well,
with John Wick 5.
Well, there's talks that they maybe making John Wick 5, but they have got other things. They've got like a prequel TV series called The Continental, which takes place well before that. There's the two actors in there by Ian McShane and the late Lance Reddick. Their characters at like a younger age, and so they'll obviously be recast. Speaking of Lance Reddick, obviously this is like one of his final performances. He had a smaller part in this one, but he's kind of got that gravitas, and he was good in it. The part that the character needed to play did the part justice. I think he's been very good in all the other films. I think
he's a really good actor. So
he's a phenomenal actor, and we haven't seen the last of him as of yet because he is in other things. The Percy Jackson TV show coming up, and I think he's got a couple of voice parts for some cartoons, or maybe because he's in Destiny, the video games. Are they called Destiny?
Yes.
Yeah, the Destiny. Yeah. So he's in there. He plays a big character in there, and I think he's already done maybe some voice work for it, and maybe they're talking about maybe AIing his voice for the character going forward. I've not played the game, so I can't really talk about it. But overall, it was a very good film. Everybody in it played their part that needed to be, and did themselves justice. Donnie Yen was brilliant. He's always a wicked actor. You know, brilliant martial artist. He's got a thing about playing the blind guy at the moment. Don't really know why it is, because he obviously played the blind Jedi lover in Rogue One.
Yes.
So, and of course his character in this one is blind as well. So it was, but then you're kind of like going through, like, how blind is this guy? Because I mean, some of the movie I was like, I can't even do that, and I've got sight. But it was like there was very clever bits on seeing him, how he maps out a room by touching and working where things out. It was very clever. They did think about it. It wasn't just like I'm blind, but I can still do everything somebody with sight has. But overall, a really good film. Personally, it's better than 3, I would say. I really struggled with 3. I didn't think 3 was as good, but it's definitely, for me, it goes first movie first, second, fourth, third, then the third one in fourth. But like I said, we've still got other spin-offs to come. Keanu, who's already confirmed that he's in the spin-off movie called Ballerina with Anna de Amas. I can't say her name.
Did it end with a preachy monologue, though, about not killing someone's dog because you don't know who owns it?
Sadly, no.
What a shame.
But I'd like to think after 4 movies, people might have got the picture.
Yeah. Don't kill his dog.
Don't kill anybody's dog.
Don't kill anyone's dog, because you don't know who that owner could be.
He could be a
But you see what I mean? You don't need Ian McShane looking down the camera.
You don't need Keanu going, don't kill people, dude.
You don't need it. Anyway.
But other than that, really good film. It was a good time. But yeah, definitely go see it if you can.
Very good.
That's my thoughts on John Wick 4.
Fair enough. Back to me then.
Yeah,
I went to go see one more film without you.
Yeah, you got one more movie, and then we've got a movie to talk together.
So I went to go see A Good Person, directed by Zach Braff, starring Florence Pugh and Morgan Freeman. Very good film.
Yeah.
It was just shy of 2.5 hours. And my one critique of it was, you could tell it was nearly 2.5 hours long. It was very slow, very, very slow.
Okay.
But it wasn't an issue with the pacing. It was just a slow film. Like, you know how feel-good films, how you have the descent into the darkest parts, and then like afterwards they buckle up their shoes and They build themselves back up, and that's the end. The ending
Dust
is all
themselves off.
dust themselves off, yeah. And the ending's all, look at them. This was the descent into darkness, and then that's it. So it really took its time with that descent into hopelessness and everything, which was actually really good, but it was very slow.
Right.
But then again, saying that, I wouldn't know what bit to take out because it was all like every little notch in, because Florence Pugh's the main character, and every little notch in her, like what happens to her is it's all vital because it just pushes her and pushes her. And whereas I said this one sort of just ends, it doesn't end at the darkest part, but it doesn't end in a happy note. It kind of ends in like a middle ground. Like she's dusted herself off, she's got a solid foundation, but she hasn't then got to the happy bit. But you know,
but she's on that. She's on the course.
She's on the course, so you know through context that it will get happy eventually. You don't need a monologue telling you that she gets happy in the end.
Look, filmmakers, stop putting monologues because you're really annoying this guy. Okay,
this guy on YouTube who only has like 20 viewers a week.
Yeah.
Get really annoyed with end of film monologues. Hey, if I can stop filmmakers doing end of film monologues, I will consider my life complete.
And we just switch off.
At the pearly gates. So, what did you do with your life? I got rid of the end of film monologues. I'll fucking get in right now. Get right in, my son.
And you just got like Jesus and everybody going.
Exactly. But yeah, it was a really good film. Really enjoyed it. The bit I was most panicked about was because I went with a friend who said he only really watches action films.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was just sitting there going, this is nowhere near an action film. And I told him it wasn't an action film. I told him it was a drama. And I was like, but this is really slow. It's really slow. He's going to absolutely hate me. And then as we walked out, I was like bracing for the, what did you just take me to see? And he was like, I really enjoyed that. When are we going to see the next one? I was like, oh, okay. So someone who says they solely only like action films can walk out and go, oh, I really enjoyed that. I think that's a good marker of a good film.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of brings them out of not doing the stuff that they're norm and enjoying it. But it's good.
Decent film. Would recommend. Of the 3 films I went to go see without you, initially, Allelujah would have been my top pick of the 3, followed by Rye Lane, followed by A Good Person. However,
due to certain things we won't mention again,
it's got to be Rye Lane, A Good Person, Allelujah.
Okay.
It goes right down to the bottom.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
If it got up there and then it got knocked back down.
So yeah.
Fair enough.
And finally, we actually went to the cinema together.
We saw Air, which is based on the story of the creation of the Air Jordans.
Not the roller coaster at Alton Towers.
No.
I would happily go see a film about the creation of the roller coaster at
You
Alton
don't need
Towers.
to, you just watch them all on TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, my initial thoughts are I really enjoyed it. I love Ben Affleck as a director. I think he does some really, really good movies. Argo and The Town, they are phenomenal films. He's done other stuff as well, which are brilliant. He's an excellent actor, and he's got his bestie in there, Matt Damon, and Matt Damon was great as well. I really enjoyed the story. I think there was some very clever bits, and some bits I'm still umming about. I'm still undecided. I thought, in one way, it was very clever and this isn't a spoiler because obviously Air Jordans are about Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan is in the movie, but the actor who plays Michael Jordan, you don't ever see the actor's face. So whenever he's looking at something, like the camera will be like here, like say for example you're watching a movie, this is it. So Michael Jordan's doing something over here, and he's always kind of like here, and then as he looks this way, somebody comes in and blocks his face from the camera. I thought that was clever, but then I also think of, could they really not find anybody to kind of for example, like Jamie Foxx obviously doesn't, like when he played the blind pianist, what's his name?
Stevie Wonder?
Yeah, did he play Stevie Wonder?
I don't know.
I can't. Yeah, I'm sure.
Stevie Wonder is the blind pianist.
Yeah, he must have. Well, he must have played. He must have played Stevie Wonder. But obviously it's like when you get famous people to play characters, you would have thought you'd be able to find an actor as opposed to be like a body double, as opposed to more of, because like even when like when they're sitting there like at the table having the meeting, like Michael Jordan's here and the camera's behind him, so you only ever really see the back of his head.
Yes.
And I know the story is about the creation of the shoe and it's not about Michael Jordan, but he's still a pivotal role in that.
Yes, but I think you've kind of brushed on it just there, because there's a whole sort of mini monologue, not to the camera, an actual monologue in the film, part of the story, where Matt Damon's character talks about like how a shoe is just a shoe until someone steps into it. So it's that idea of, I think what they were trying to get at is Michael Jordan was just Michael Jordan until the shoe came out, kind of thing. And it's
I guess.
So I think like they weren't trying to show his face because he was effectively a nobody. I mean, he wasn't a nobody because he was already sort of like being noticed by like the college drafts and everything, which is what the movie picked up on. But he wasn't one of the higher echelons of players.
No.
So it's that whole idea of he hadn't come into his own yet, which is why they weren't showing him.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know,
I guess it could have been an artistic direction.
Yeah, had the film gone on a little bit longer, they might have started showing his face. But the film cuts off where it cuts off.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other opinions?
It's also very funny.
It was quite funny, yes.
I thought it was there was a lot of jokes and there was quite like the banter between like the agent and
the I know which bit you're talking about, the homoerotic bit.
Yeah, the bit where he's just like,
"I'll suck off your nuts.
I'll devour your nuts." But yeah, between that and Matt Damon's character, that was hilarious. And like I said to you as we got out of the cinema, I laughed more in this movie than I did in Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and that is supposed to be a family film.
Yeah.
I laughed more in this movie than I did in a movie that's about a kid being a superhero. And I think that kind of says a little bit more about that on like the other
about Shazam.
About Shazam from last week.
I think so. Yeah, episode 19, I think.
Yeah. Last week's episode than it does, anything else. But I really enjoyed it. And again, personally, I love Matt Damon as a director. I think he does some great films. And I think everybody, Jason Bateman, Chris Tucker, and everybody else, was it Marlon Wayans? One of the
Wayans.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans. He was in it as well. I think every actor that they got in there to play the parts of the people were great. And I don't think anybody was miscast. I think everybody did their job perfectly.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't really add much onto that other than I agree. See, I whereas you weren't too sure about not showing Michael's face, I kind of enjoyed that because, as I said, I saw it from the other idea. Of, he's just a nobody. He wasn't a nobody. I just need to just clarify that he wasn't a nobody.
Yeah.
But that is like that kind of you may always be a nobody until the shoe happens kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, it was funny, well cast. Didn't like Matt Damon's fat suit though. It didn't look right. It took me out the film a couple of times.
Oh, okay. Is that because it was just clearly padding?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It didn't, like, if you look at the fat suit that Brendan Fraser wears for the whale, that looks natural.
Yeah, I guess so.
Whereas this, it just looked like he'd basically stuffed his t-shirt with a duvet.
Yeah.
And some pillows.
Yeah, I get.
Put a belt round it, going, look at me, I'm fat. Look, mommy, I'm fat. Yes, dear, well done.
Oh god. Right. Yeah.
So it really took me out. So I didn't like the fat suit. But if that's what I'm complaining about,
I mean that's like a nitpick.
It's really, a nitpick, yeah. So if I'm nitpicking on a film, it means it's a relatively decent film.
Yeah.
I have noticed that I'm starting to get a lot nicer to films.
Really? Yeah. I find I'm more critical now.
No, but it's not because we started reviewing them, because it's now free. because we go on the unlimited. So I'm sitting there going, you know what? I've not paid for this. I'm fine.
I paid my way out. Everything else is free, so it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. So yeah, I'm a lot nicer to films now. But yeah, no, overall really good. You wanted to make a comment about the intro production studios.
Yes, I did actually. Yeah. Because when we were sitting there, you were like, WTF, when Amazon Studios come up on the screen.
Yes. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I said to you, I said I'll mention it later. And actually what it is, and I think this is a really, really good thing, I think this is a positive move in the industry of movies, is that people like Netflix and Amazon and Apple TV as well has only just announced it, that they're looking to do their original movies and do cinema releases as well. So with like Netflix had like Glass Onion, was it only like a week though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like do like limited releases and things like that to help try and drive people into cinemas to help.
Which I'm all for.
Oh, 100%.
The cinema world is dying, and this is the thing. If the production studios wanted to, they could literally let the cinemas die.
Yeah.
Because right now, the cinemas put the shows on, they take a cut of the ticket sales, and the rest goes to the production studios. But if the production studios wanted to, they could just go, no, we'll just put it on our streaming service, and then keep all the profits to themselves.
Yeah.
So for them to say, no, here, have it in the cinema, and let the cinema take some cut of the profits, I fully...
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. People won't complain that the cinema's gone until it's gone.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You don't ever... It's that classic thing of not ever missing something until it's gone.
We'll be 65. And back in my day, we used to go see films on big screens.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right, Grandpa. Time to take your meds.
I have to try and find that meme now.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it is just... So I'm all for it. A Good Person was similar. It was made by Sky.
Yeah.
So they've also see what I would like for that, because I was sitting there thinking, well, I'm unlimited, I get this free. It would be interesting to see if people who own Sky got to go see it for free, because effectively they could watch it on their TVs for free. So would they be allowed to go in the cinema and watch it for free, and just have to pay for the concessions, and that's where the cinema makes the money? I don't know. I'm not the cinema. I'm not the one who's running it. I can't tell you.
But if that's what you do, copyright Ben and Paddy.
Yes.
But I think it's a positive move, and I think they've also got to realise that a lot of these people, especially with like this one that we've just seen, people like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, they made their names from being in cinema before they went to studios and things like that. Look at Apple TV; they've got their new series coming out, Tetris with Taron Egerton.
All right.
And it looks really good. It looks really, really good. But he obviously made his name in a movie, which was The Kingsman, which is a great film. And if it wasn't for that movie being in cinema, would we have him now?
No.
And I wonder whether or not this is kind of the streaming services trying to give something back as like maybe like a thank you.
Yeah.
You know. And I think it should hopefully work in the cinema's favour, because cinemas need to survive. 100%.
100% agree.
So hopefully we'll get some more movies coming out in the cinemas. Not that there's already enough. Like next month, we've got a lot to see next month.
Goody!
Yay! So we're going to be on top of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So save your voice, and shall we go to final thoughts?
Yeah, let's do final thoughts, because I'm dying now. My throat is really hurting.
So final thoughts.
Final thoughts are:
when you're angry at work, don't snap at your colleagues, message a friend.
Exactly.
Because if you snap at a colleague, it can go horribly wrong for you.
Yeah. And also, wait until they're awake for the reply. Because if you message me on, like, if I'm back to work and I'm not up until 10:30 and you're messaging me at 9 o'clock in the morning, you ain't getting a reply for an hour and a half.
No, yeah. So, I mean, surely your friend's supposed to talk you off the cliff rather than encouraging you to do anything rash.
Yeah.
But go say to him, go tell him.
No, what I'm saying is, don't just wait. Don't get more built up.
Yeah.
Wait for the reply. They could be busy.
They could be.
They could be at the doctor's.
Could be taking a shit.
They could be balls deep.
You wish.
I fucking do. Your movies?
My movies, all relatively good. Just at the end of Allelujah, close your eyes, stick your fingers in your ears, and go la 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 la, la really loud.
Yeah, and run out of cinema.
Because monologues at the end of films not needed.
No needs.
No needs.
John Wick 4, good film. Not as strong as the other ones, in my opinion. I know everybody says that it's the best one. Could have been shorter. And then it probably would have been best. Visually, stunning.
And then another decent film, go see it.
Yeah, definitely go see that.
Final thought, go to the cinema. Just go to the cinema.
Yeah. Support cinemas, support that. Well, even if it's like I know Felixstowe has a small independent cinema.
Mm-hmm.
That should be supported as well because it's a small business, small jobs, you know, support local and all that kind of thing. And definitely support the cinema because if it goes, what else are we going to do? We're going to just keep on sitting at home on people's broken sofas? Who knows? But other than that, I haven't got anything else for final thoughts.
No, I think we're all covered.
Cool.
So tell us what you think. Have you been to see any of the 5 films that we've been to see this week? Tell us what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good jazz.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Go, oh my God, I found this brand new podcast. It's amazing.
It's amazing. They are hilarious.
The guy with the beard is beautiful. Let's go
I've got a
forward.
beard today though. So
The proper beard, not stubble. But other than that, thank you very much for joining us. And
we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers,
Thanks so
guys, and take care.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.